You were in Alberta and you shot an elk and these wolves circled the elk. And when it's a surprise shot, you're just concentrating entirely on the area that you want to hit on the elk. The finger trigger, you're like, oh, geez, you're like, bah! And they bully the shit out of those young bulls. They chase them away. They're like, you get no pussy. I mean, if you saw a person whose muscle tissue looked like a Wagyu steak, you'd be like, bro, you got to get on a fucking diet. But if you saw an athlete, if you looked at an athlete's muscle tissue, it would look like a piece of elk. It would look very lean and healthy and dense. People don't know, man. They don't know. You're eating a super athlete. Elk booner decoy.
Her.
What is this?
Ooh.
That is weird. It happens in elk. It happens in all these different animals. And they fight. I mean, the reason why these antlers on this elk, those are for fighting. Going through the 2 elk that I've given away a lot of it to, that I shot last year, they actually lose those fucking things after they're done breeding. They fall off and they grow back again the next year. This is the fastest body part growth known to man is elk antlers. That's a good way to get shot by a dude. I've been on this kick for the past 3 or 4 months where I just eat kimchi and elk like 3-4 times a week. I'm eating that stuff. They call them satellite bulls. They're so horny. They're susceptible to hunters because hunters will like make a cow call like meow, meow. They make this noise and they go like, yeah, who wants to fuck? Who wants to fuck? And then they get shot. Do you eat elk? You're literally eating a super athlete. Or they think there's a fight. That's the other thing you do. You make a bugle like it's already better than yours.
That wasn't bad.
It wasn't that bad, right? They have these horns you blow.
Yeah.
These bugles. And then the elk will go, what? You want some of this, bitch? And it'll come around the corner like looking for another elk to fuck up. And then you shoot them. Every year I schedule 2 elk hunts and assume I'm going to strike out. When you eat an elk, man, you're eating an animal that's getting away from wolves and bears and fighting to the death with swords growing out of its head. I mean, literally, it's a forest horse with fucking spears growing out of its head. Yeah. And they're just out there hustling. They have actual elk decoys that they use that they actually put on the front of the bow. You got your bow here? Extending in front of your bow is like, it looks like a female elk. Yeah, so that's an elk. It's like a decoy, and you're actually shooting through her at the elk. I don't think their vision is very good. I saw a male elk fuck a female elk. It was crazy. He smashed it so hard, she went flying forward when she got tackled and went down to her front knees. Damn. He just climbed on top, and he's a one-pump chump. Boom! He just slammed into it. When they're fucking and when they're in heat and they're breeding, in the rut they call it, it's amazing to watch. I mean, this is something they only do once a year. So for 11 months out of the year, they're cool with each other. They're all just hanging out together. And 1 month out of the year, it's chaos, just fighting to the death with other males, and smashing into it. And then every girl they get a chance, fucking. Last 2 years, I've been very lucky, and I got 2 elk each year. You eat one of those things, you eat it, it's like, the fuck? Like you get charged up. You're like, and, you know, there's always wolves, and there's always bears, and there's all these things that are trying to eat them, and mountain lions are killing them. It's amazing. So when you say that, wait a minute, hold on a second. You say they reported, they know that 2 were dead. So smart. They had to have known that you killed the elk. And they had to have known that you killed those other 2 wolves that chased you, that went after you guys and tried to get the elk. It's very, very, very difficult to close in on a wild animal.
What are you hunting?
Giant bull. Enormous. Biggest bull I've ever seen in my life. Down. It's a hard thing to do, to fucking kill an elk. Mostly elk. Well, elk's my favorite for 2 reasons. It feels, I've given it to people that have never eaten it before, and they're like, holy shit. And I'm like, yeah, you feel different, right? It's very delicious, super nutritious. Also, if I shoot 1 elk, I can eat it for like 8 months. Whitetail, deer, elk, they've been extirpated from the majority of their range in North America. 75 yards right in the silverback, 75 yards. It was perfect. It's how I practice. I mean, I have an elk target, a giant elk target in my yard at 75 yards. I've met some people that I'm like, I talk to them, I go, oh, I'm like a monkey compared to you.
Dude, I talked to your buddy Eddie Bravo, and that guy is a real, like once he goes, you can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't get him back in the car. Like you're sitting there honking the horn, you can't, that guy's out there. You know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about, but I've never heard anybody make a description like that. A deaf Jack Russell Terrier. That is hilarious.
He's extravagant, dude.
Yeah.